Today is Saturday, May 16th, 2016, and this is the Bunny Slippers of Evil Job Seekers Podcast, presented by Evil Bunny Consulting. I'm your host, Tyrone Griffin, and if it's 3 p.m. you have on your bunny slippers, you are not looking for a job. Welcome, first-time and returning listeners. In this show, we discuss strategies and tactics of job search, staying motivated, and dealing with career transition. For more tips, resources, daily motivations, and to listen to archive shows, go to the website bunnyslippersofevil.com. There you will also find links to the show's Facebook page and Twitter handle, as well as our YouTube channel. If you're listening live, you can call in with your questions at 347-202-0929. Again, that number is 347-202-0929. Now a word from our sponsors. Evil Bunny Consulting is the alternative to expensive outplacement. They give job seeker boot camps as well as the one-on-one workshops. For more information, go to www.bunnyslippersofevil.com. Resume Edit is the low-cost, high-quality resume writing company with resumes as low as $25 written by certified resume writers. You can find them online at www.resume4edit.com or call 404-860-2473. And be sure to tell them you heard about them on the Bunny Slippers of Evil Job Seekers podcast. Let 3dresumes.net turn your resume into a web page with a customized domain for 12 months for only $30. Help hiring managers and recruiters find you, make your resume available 24/7, and get a professional personalized email address just for your job search. You can see my online resume at tyronegriffin.com, and for more information on how to get your own, go to 3dresumes.net. If you're thinking about or about to look for a job in today's world, you will find a new reality in the job search process. The world has changed. Job search today is much more complicated than 5 years ago. Volumes of resumes, more applicant screening systems, depersonalized applications, panel interviews, team hiring, long, complicated applications, branding, and social media. Yes, the world has changed. But have you? Are you still trying yesterday's approach? Why struggle and miss out on today's opportunities? Career Oyster is here to help. Great coaches, the latest resources, unique strategies personally tailored to your job search. Find out the new reality and how you can prevent costly mistakes. To register for a free 45-minute private session with their head coach, Howard Caddy, go to careeroyster.com. Find out the facts. You'll be glad you did. Remember their motto, the world is your oyster, be the pearl. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome. We have a good show this week. I'm hoping that my guest is on. But this week we have scheduled Judi Adams, who's been on before, and the topic is the importance of self-confidence and a positive attitude. Let me check and see. Judi, are you there? Judy's not there yet. Okay, no worries, no worries. We will keep it moving. Somebody's on hold. Who was that on hold? I am going to hang up on this person. If it's Judi, please just call me right back. This person's been on hold for 10 minutes and they haven't said anything. I don't know who it is. So I'm hoping it wasn't our guest host. But while I'm waiting for Judi to call in, I hope you're having a great and positive and productive job search. Okay, somebody has called in. Back, let me see if this is her.
This is Judi. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Judi, how are you?
I'm fine.
I
don't know what the technical problem was earlier, but hello. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. This is saying, I'm sorry. This is saying something about the show. We only got 10 minutes left. So this might be a quickie. So let's get into it because I think it might be a technical error on my side. But anyway, the topic is the importance of self-confidence and a positive attitude. Judi, let me get right into. I have a couple of questions I want to ask you that will help us get this ball rolling. First of all, how does attitude and self-confidence impact the job search?
It is actually the most important step. It impacts body language.
Mm-hmm.
And so imagine standing there and saying they're happy and everything, but yet they've got a frown on their face and their body is bent over like they're discouraged.
Mm-hmm.
You'll believe the language over the they speak. And so attitude absolutely impacts the body language, the word choice. Most often used word I hear from someone who is negative is the word but. Because it says that they are disagreeing with everything that they had just said. And it also impacts the energy you need to do the job search. So we're doing things that may be outside our comfort area, and if we don't have a positive attitude, we're not going to find that job.
That's a good point. That point about people that say "but," that is very true. It's like blah 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 blah, but that's I never thought about it like that, but that is very true. Let's. I think we can go 30. I'm not sure, but I'm going to try to do 15 just in case. And I apologize for shortchanging you, Judi. And I'll get you on again. I apologize. I think I made a mistake on this end when I set the show up that I only set it for 15 instead of 30. And I've never done that before, so I don't know what's going to happen at 15. So just in case, but I want to make sure we get through everything quickly. Why don't people just stop thinking negative thoughts? I mean, what purposes do negative thoughts serve? I mean, what's the value of a negative thought? I guess is the question.
Well, there's a lot of things that's gone on either before the job search in a person's life. Maybe somebody has told them they're not good or that they don't amount to anything. And then they hold on to that negative thought inside their head. But there are things that those negative thoughts do. And that surprised me because I thought just stop thinking negative thoughts. But thoughts are the intervening factor for determining self-esteem 100% of the time. But for instance, when you're really stressed out, you'll do something like play a computer game or something that distracts you away from the thing that you're nervous about. That relieves the anxiety. So that negative thought of, well, I'll just put it off, helps for that moment. But as in the case of procrastination, the thing you still have to face is still there and time has passed. And so that's why it's negative. It may temporarily relieve that anxiety or make us think that it's not our fault. Or the negative thought may help us think that if we work harder and harder and harder, we'll achieve more. Like comparing yourself to others, you'll feel better about yourself, or if you bragging, you feel better about yourself. But all of these are negative behaviors based on that negative thought. And Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Because what we try to do is self-justify ourselves and say, see, I told you I would not be able to do it. Or, see, I told you I would be able to do it, because you're looking for the things that prove you're right. And so wouldn't you rather be right about finding a job than right about not finding a job?
I agree. I think in general, I think people would rather be, this sounds really crazy sometimes, but I think there are people who would rather be a failure and right because they thought they were going to be a failure than to be successful and wrong because they thought they were going to be a failure, It's like people talk themselves into thinking that they're going to fail, and then they get proven, they do everything they can. And I bet it happens in job search as well, where if you think you're going to fail, you then do everything to make sure that you do. So then you can say, see, I told you, I mean, you talk about that low self-esteem, and I think that's a very big part of it. With people,
it really is, and that's why I've been reading about all of these things that impact the job seeker's mind. I've read books like The Brain at Work, and then I just found this recent book that has just really made a difference to me, and then also to a lot of my clients, called Self-Esteem by Matthew McKay.
Okay.
And I wrote the publication. The reason the book is flying off the shelves in Atlanta is because of me. It is so impactful to people who see themselves as thinking, I can't do it, because if they don't try, they won't fail. Or they won't like me, and so if I reject myself, then I can't open myself up to the hurt if someone else rejects me. And so that's why they hold on to those negative thoughts. But imagine that you're hanging on a suspension bridge that broke, and you've got one hand on one side of the bridge and one hand on the other. You've got a choice. You either hang on to the past and the future, but you're not going to go anywhere, or you need to let go of the past so you can use both hands to pull yourself up to the future. And so it is a choice. Circumstances only indirectly affect self-esteem. We can't change the circumstances, but we can change how we interpret them.
So it's that idea of telling some people have said, "You can't make me feel bad without my permission." You've heard that saying, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's that.
You know, here's some music.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry.
The
Go ahead.
movie Unbroken recently. The movie Unbroken recently. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't. No.
Oh, so this is the guy that was in a plane shot, and this is a true story, shot down in World War II. And he was imprisoned in this camp, and the head of the camp was determined to break his spirit. But they could break his bones, but he refused to let them break his spirit. And if a guy can go through that, or the young lady whose arm was bitten off by a shark, the surfer, if they can go through that and not have that affect their esteem, then we can go through a job search without having to break our self-esteem and confidence. We just have to be determined to do that.
Well, and you know what? I agree with you. And the thing about it, the young lady you talk about, she was just on The Amazing Race this past season. I think it was this past season.
Oh, yeah.
She was on The Amazing Race. But you know what it says? Think about this. That's a physical thing that she went through, right? And she was able to bounce back. When people say things that life is mental, you think about people that go through stuff in job search, losing a job. That's all a mental thing. And it affects people even worse. Okay, so now what are some steps for stopping these negative thoughts?
So the first thing we want to do is be aware of those negative thoughts. So, just take a day to make note of whenever you say something negative about yourself. So I recently had a foot injury, and I thought, oh, Judi, you're so stupid. And then I stopped myself, because I don't usually think negative thoughts like that, and I said, you are not stupid. You did something stupid, but you're not stupid. And so it's just the first step is being aware of that thought. And then we need to make a note of how it made us feel, what was the circumstances behind that thought, and then redefine it. So again, like I redefined it, I did something stupid, that doesn't make me stupid. And put inside your head, so if we take that critic that's inside your head and tell that critic, no, 90 seconds true. But we need to fill our mind with factual statements, and not Pollyanna statements, but factual statements. Because if we try to get the critic out and not fill our head with something else, he'll come back in. So what we want to say is things that are factual. So instead of saying I'm stupid, what you might say is maybe I don't know Microsoft right now, and I can learn it. I've learned other things before. And so that's factual instead of saying I'm stupid, nobody will want to hire me, is fill your brain with actual facts. So what I recommend people do is become aware of it, understand the importance of it, and realize it is a choice.
Okay, I agree. I'm going to try to keep going on this show. I don't know what's going to happen in 30 seconds, but I'm going to. But you know what I'm going to do? If it does shut off on me, Judi, what I'm going to do is set up. If you could do it later in this morning, maybe in a little while, I'll try to set up another 15-minute show, and we'll just finish. Okay.
Well, actually, I have another appointment, so we'll have to do it another time.
Okay.
But
Well,
I love 10 seconds. Go on.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, let's see if this is a test. Because I apologize. I made a mistake. Let me see what happens when when it goes off. So it looks like we're still going. I'm gonna keep going. If it cuts off, well, I'll have you back on again anyway, so I'm not gonna worry about it. This is one more question. What are some of the good resources for people struggling with attitude?
My favorite book to have all job seekers read is the book Who Moves My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. That I have everyone read that one because your cheese got moved. And so it has 4 characters in the book that let you figure out who you are, which of those 4 you are, with regard to the job search. So we're different creatures at different times. But, which one are you with regard to the job search? So that's my favorite one for everybody to read.
You know what? I just thought about something. We're going to keep talking. You know why? And I meant to tell you this earlier. I do video now as well, right? The video's still running. so we just do it. I thought about that. I said, you know what? I'm still recording the video on this, so I just keep going, and I always put a link to the video in the audio. So I'll put a link and just put in the show notes for the full episode. Click on here and watch it on video, and that'll be fine. So we're cool. Always got it back up.
Fantastic.
But you know what? Here's the thing. Okay, so you were talking about that. You were talking about that book, Who Moved My Cheese?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's 2 books for attitude itself. So if you're not carrying a lot of, emotional baggage and things like that, you're just suffering with attitude. One of them is by Keith Terrell, who used to live in Atlanta. The title of the book is Attitude is Everything, 10 Life-Changing Steps to Turning Attitude into Action. And then the other is the classic Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking. Okay. So if it's just a temporary attitude problem, those 2 are the best.
Well, you know what? This is the thing about job search. We talk about attitude, and everybody, people will say that, but it's amazing how many people. This is not about job search; it's about life. We've all been through our ups and downs. You, me, everybody's been through a lot of ups and downs. But what we fail to realize a lot of times is that your inside does affect your outside. I mean, there are dozens of motivational speakers who will reiterate that point over and over again, that your mental perspective affects your physical world. We look at people that are failures, or not failures. Sorry, we look at people who are very successful. And one of the things a lot of these people always will say is that they failed over and over. That's why they succeed. You remember that joke where the girl wants a pony for Christmas, and I don't know exactly how it goes, but basically somebody took their 2 children. They had one child that was very positive and one child that was very negative, and they wanted to get them evaluated. So they took them to a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist came up with a plan. And for the kid who was always negative, the psychiatrist told the person to give that kid a really nice gift to see if that would affect their attitude. And so they did it, and the kid was still negative. And the other kid, who was always very super positive, wanted a pony. So they gave this child, and I don't know how weird this joke is, but they gave this child a pile of manure, okay, just to see if it would affect their positive attitude. And the kid saw the pile and jumped into it, and went digging through it. And everybody was shocked. They're like, "Well, what are you doing? Why are you digging into this pile?" And the kid said, "With all this manure, there's got to be a pony in there somewhere." And it's like that positive, no matter what, I choose to be positive, but particularly in job search, because I mean, like I was saying, we've all had those ups and downs, where we may have been fired from jobs, we may have been let go under less than perfect circumstances, or we may find ourselves in bad situations. And to me, one of the tests of life, if you call it, is how do you bounce back? You know,
Yes.
um, in a global perspective, we talk about the unemployment rate being down to whatever it is, but inherently we know, based on how the rate is calculated, that one of the problems with it is a lot of people who just dropped out. I understand why. When you've been out looking for a job for 3, 4, or 5 years and nothing's come up, it can get depressing. Yeah.
It can be. Here's my challenge to that, though. Anyone who's been in a job search and not been successful, remember what the definition of insanity is, and that's doing the same thing 3 times and
Hmm.
expecting a different result.
Yep.
So what I challenge job seekers to do is let's change. If you're not being successful in the approach you're taking, let's change how you're doing it, because something you're doing isn't right.
Hmm.
If you've actually fully working, a program, then something isn't right. Let's come in and let's, change it or adjust it or like that. So that's what I challenge job seekers to do. To meet with me for the first hour is only $25. And, in that hour, it's not at all sales. People will tell you that for sure. Because they'll say, whoa, stop. I need to know more first.
Right.
And so, but all my prices are on my website. I'm very transparent. But in that first hour, we can assess your marketing materials. We can assess your approach to date and see, what you're doing wrong. You're just flying online, and that's not the most successful thing. But for any where it's not just one situation that has brought you down, maybe you struggled with attitude or negative thoughts a lot in life. There's an assessment that I really like called Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Have you heard of EQ before, Tyrone?
I think so. It's called it's a book, right? Or is it?
Well, yeah, EQ concept of emotional intelligence, and Emotional Intelligence 2.0 is the book that in the back has an assessment.
That's
And
right.
it lets you
That's right.
assessment about how aware are you of yourself, how good are you at managing yourself, how aware are you of your impact in a social setting, and how good are you at managing interpersonal skills or relationships.
Yeah.
So I've always liked, because I'm, a geek and I've been in IT all my life, I like dealing, I was a logic major, I like dealing with facts. So let's take the assessment and find out where you are and what are things that we can do to help the person become, stronger and better. And that's one of the things that I recommend for someone who maybe has had problems, either with coworkers or with managing themselves throughout their life. Let's get that. Let's create a program then that develops you as a person.
I think that book is a white book with red lettering, right?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. I've seen. Yep. I actually have a copy of that book that I took for a job. When I was in transition back in 2010. Actually, I bought a copy of it because somebody recommended it. But yeah, it's
Absolutely.
it.
And if anyone if anyone wants any of these books, like if we're going too fast and then want to back it up or whatever, but all of these books, with the exception of the self-esteem one, is on my website at rightchanges.biz. So it's right as in the direction, changes plural, .biz, for short for business, under the highly recommended resources. Now, I need to add the self-esteem one, and I haven't done that yet, but that's the other one. And that one is by Matthew McKay. But otherwise, all these books are listed on my website.
Okay. Great. And the show notes, we'll put links to your website. So anybody who's watching this either on YouTube or the people who listen to the audio, there'll be links to your website on there. So that'll be good.
Good. And there's another channel there called Here Judi Live.
Mhm.
And in addition to doing the wonderful show here, Bunny Slippers Are Evil, I list where I'm speaking in the Atlanta area.
Great. All right, great. Because that was what my next question was. I just want to make sure we cover everything about attitude. But my next thought was to ask you. So what's going on? What have you been doing? What have you been up to since the last time you've been on the show?
Oh, wow. I've been speaking all over the area on various topics, including this one. Monday, I'm speaking at Perimeter about, do you know data.com? Have you ever used that website?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Are
It is a way
I'm sorry. Go
that,
ahead.
people, job seekers can get a list of companies
Mm-hmm.
within a specific industry or zip code so that they can know companies that they can target. And it's a wonderful site, and I'll be speaking on that on Monday.
Oh, okay. Now you do life lessons a lot, right?
Yes, I do
Okay.
live lessons. I'm the speaker for the first Wednesday of every month,
Okay.
and I love that program. And now Emory has me coming out as well. I took the month of May off, but in June I'll be going out, and from June to October I'm going to be there for their Fast Track to Employment program and speaking on all the steps of the job search.
That's great. Okay. Yeah, life lessons is close to my heart. I used to run that program for a while. When I,
And the tradition is whoever runs the program is the next to get employed.
that was one of the reasons I was trying to run it. I mean, I cannot thank, Hotel Equities, and I give them the free plug because they are donating their conference room, and they're still feeding everybody, right?
Every Wednesday for
Yeah.
9 years, they have dedicated their conference room, and they serve lunch to job seekers for the program. But then the spiritual part afterwards is just amazing.
Yep,
And
yep.
so that's one of my favorite programs. As well.
The Andy Stanley sermon.
Yes.
How bad it was back in 2011 when I was there. We actually did 2 sessions.
Wow.
We used to do 2 sessions on every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's gotten better, but again, I appreciate that company. I actually ran into a couple of those guys who worked there about 3 years ago, and I bought them lunch. And that was one of the best moments for me was being able to try to give back something to them because they had given so much to so many people.
Absolutely. Yes, they're a great group.
Yeah. So anyway, so now rightchanges.biz is your website. It's got all your pricing information, got everything about you that's going on, your upcoming speaking engagements and so on. Everything will be out there, right?
Yes, and all the engagements where I'm speaking are free.
Yeah.
Unless otherwise indicated, which right now there's nothing on there that's not free. So, job seekers go, well, I can't afford to. You can afford to go free.
Yeah.
And you'll learn things that you might not already know, especially, again, I encourage those who've been in the job search a long time, let's, drop the negative attitude, start thinking about, I can do it if I make changes, positive changes to my search, and come in, let's make an adjustment to what you've been doing so you get better results.
All right.
Because that's what you could do, find out how to get better results.
I totally agree. There are some things that charge a fee, and when I was in transition, I always tried to shy away from those because they're great networking opportunities, but when you're out of work, you don't have any money. So I always try to give a little props to those organizations like Roswell United Methodist Church. I spoke there last week. Any place that does it for free and and serves people as well, that's a beautiful thing. And it's too bad we don't have more companies doing that kind of thing. But anyway, that's my soapbox. So
Well, we're very blessed in Atlanta. There
Oh,
near
gosh.
countries that do not have the resources we do. So lots
Yes.
lessons down the street from the crossroads that is at Dunwoody Baptist, which is across the street, rock throwing distance, even with me throwing the rock to United Dunwoody Methodist, which has another crossroads. Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio.
Okay, Judy, that's hello, Judy. That's for 30 minutes. Everybody, thanks for listening. You all have a great day. I hope you enjoyed the show. Apologize for my error in setting it up. So have a good one, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care, and bye-bye.